Hollywood didn't just become thinner, it grew quieter. Faces shifted before explanations ever arrived. Cheeks sank, eyes hollowed, and familiar features faded without notice. What seemed like discipline from a distance often felt like regret up close. Behind red carpets and carefully curated images were bodies pushed too fast, skin unable to keep up, and identities slowly slipping out of focus. These stories are not about vanity. They are about speed, pressure, and consequences rarely spoken about openly. Before we begin, let us know where you're watching from and what time it is for you right now in the comments. Kelly Osbourne. For years, Kelly Osbourne lived under constant scrutiny where every change in her body turned into a headline. After decades marked by struggles with weight addiction and relentless public judgment, her recent transformation felt sudden and striking. The weight dropped quickly and praise followed just as fast. Yet what remained on camera was not victory. It was a face that appeared sharper, leaner, and unexpectedly older. As the pounds vanished, the softness that once balanced her features disappeared with them. Her cheeks grew hollow, her jawline more severe, and the skin around her eyes began telling a story different from the number on the scale. Fans applauded her discipline, but many quietly questioned why someone still in her late 30s looked so worn and tired. This is the contradiction of rapid weight loss. The body may become smaller, but the face often reveals the cost first. Kelly has spoken openly about taking control of her life and that honesty matters. Still, her appearance became another reminder that being thin does not automatically equal being healthy or youthful. Facial fat is not a defect. It provides structure, especially as natural collagen decreases with age. What makes Kelly's story resonate is how familiar it feels. Many people chase change, believing confidence will arrive with a smaller body. Instead, they find themselves negotiating with a reflection that feels strangely unfamiliar. Is thinness worth sacrificing facial vitality? Jon Gosselin. Jon Gosselin returned to the headlines not as the overwhelmed father of 8, but as a cautionary example. His experience with Ozempic was initially viewed as a breakthrough. In just 2 months, he lost 32 pounds, a transformation rapid enough to stun audiences. The promise seemed convincing. Then the camera lingered. His face appeared sunken and fatigued with deeper lines around the eyes and loose skin along the neck. This is what doctors often describe as Ozempic Face, a loss of facial volume so sudden that the skin cannot adjust in time. Rather than looking refreshed, Jon looked older, drained, and unexpectedly fragile. The situation worsened when access to the medication ended. Whether due to insurance limitations or costs that can exceed $1,000 per month, the supply stopped without a long-term plan. The weight returned quickly, with all 32 pounds coming back nearly as fast as they disappeared. His body endured a violent swing like a balloon stretched and deflated too many times. When he later appeared on television, Jon admitted regret. The yo-yo effect did more than alter his weight. It compromised his skin, stripped his face of resilience, and left him with damage that could not be undone. His story exposes an uncomfortable truth behind quick fixes. These medications are not short-term solutions. They require lifelong commitment, medical oversight, and consequences many people never anticipate. Do you believe rapid weight loss is worth this kind of irreversible cost? Golnesa Garachadagi. Golnesa Garachadagi built her public image on confidence, defiance, and glamour. When her body began shrinking at an extreme pace, the conversation shifted almost immediately. She dropped from around 138 pounds to roughly 110, nearly a fifth of her body weight gone in what felt like overnight. Unlike others, Golnesa denied appearing gaunt, explaining that she stayed ahead of the changes through cosmetic upkeep. Fillers, Botox, and facial procedures became part of her routine. In doing so, she revealed something more unsettling than Ozempic Face itself. The medication appeared to remove so much natural volume that medical aesthetics were needed just to maintain a familiar look. Even with these interventions, the shift was striking. Her face grew sharper, more hollow, and far more angular than before. The softness that once balanced her features faded, replaced by an appearance many fans described as unfamiliar. At 110 pounds, she hovered at the lowest edge of what her frame could reasonably sustain, pushing her body into a state it was never designed to hold. Golnisa's story exposes a hidden cycle. Weight loss leads to facial collapse. Facial collapse leads to cosmetic dependence. The pursuit of thinness quietly turns into lifelong maintenance. For viewers watching from the outside, the warning is clear. When chemicals shrink the body too quickly, procedures often follow to repair the face. What do you think about this trade-off? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you're finding this discussion insightful, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande's transformation unsettled fans, not simply because she changed, but because of how quickly it happened. For years, her image was defined by youth softness and an almost doll-like roundness that matched her voice and public persona. Then seemingly, between public appearances, that softness disappeared. Her frame narrowed dramatically and her face followed. Cheeks that once balanced her features receded. Her jawline sharpened. Her eyes appeared larger and more sunken. The overall effect felt fragile rather than refined. At an age when most people still retain natural facial volume, Ariana suddenly looked exhausted. The shift sparked constant speculation not driven by cruelty but by confusion. Viewers sensed something was off. What makes Ariana's case especially striking is her age. Rapid facial volume loss is typically associated with later decades when collagen and elasticity naturally decline. Seeing these changes in someone so young highlights the intensity of modern beauty pressure. In an industry that rewards extreme thinness, even success offers no immunity. Ariana has never publicly confirmed using weight loss medication, and that uncertainty is part of the story. The Ozempic era is shaped by silent subtlety and plausible deniability. Yet the visual pattern remains familiar speed, hollowing a face that appears older than it should. Her transformation forces an uncomfortable question. If fame, wealth, and youth cannot shield someone from this pressure, what chance does anyone else have? Ariana's body became smaller, but the cost was clearly written across her face. June Shannon. June Shannon's body has endured extremes that few people ever experience in front of a camera. Years ago, she lost more than 300 pounds through gastric sleeve surgery, a transformation that permanently altered her skin and connective tissue. Then life intervened. During the emotional crisis surrounding her daughter's cancer diagnosis, the weight returned. Nearly 130 pounds came back under relentless stress. Rather than addressing grief trauma and nutrition together, June turned to injectable weight loss medication. The scale responded quickly. Her body shrank once again, but this time the damage appeared in her face. Skin that had already been stretched beyond recovery could not adapt to another rapid collapse. One appearance showed fullness from regain. The next revealed hollowness, sagging, and deep fatigue etched into her features. This is the harsh reality of repeated extremes. Skin is not endlessly elastic. Each cycle of loss and regain weakens its ability to rebound, especially after massive surgical weight loss. June's face became a visual record of that history. Deflated cheeks, a softened jawline, and a tired expression replaced the optimism audiences once recognized. Her story is not about willpower. It is about biology under stress. Quick fixes layered over unresolved emotional wounds compound damage rather than heal it. June's journey suggests that medication cannot replace stability. When weight loss becomes a response to crisis, the body pays a lasting price. What's your take on this? Leave a comment below, like the video if it resonated with you, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth stories. Tori Spelling. Tori Spelling has lived in the public spotlight for more than 3 decades, which makes changes to her appearance especially noticeable. Audiences grew up watching her soft features, rounded cheeks, and approachable warmth on screen. That image became fixed over time, so when her face began shifting rapidly in her early 50s, the contrast was impossible to ignore. After the birth of her 5th child, Tori openly spoke about her difficulty losing weight. When conventional approaches failed, she turned to injectable weight loss medications, including Ozempic and later Mounjaro. The results appeared quickly. Her body became visibly leaner, but her face absorbed the impact. Volume drained from her cheeks and temples, creating deep hollows that reshaped her expression. What once appeared youthful and gentle now looked angular and fatigued. The skin around her eyes and mouth seemed thinner and less supported, emphasizing every line. This follows a familiar pattern of rapid facial fat loss. When volume disappears too quickly, the face loses its natural lift, producing a skeletal look that reads as older rather than healthier. Perhaps the most unsettling moment came from Tori herself. She shared that her own children struggled to recognize her when watching older episodes of her work. That detail reveals the emotional cost of transformation. Beyond appearance, there is identity. In the effort to reclaim a younger body, Tori lost visual continuity with the woman audiences and family remembered. Demi Moore. Demi Moore has long symbolized an ideal of ageless beauty in Hollywood, someone whose appearance seemed to resist time itself. That legacy is exactly why her recent transformation provoked such strong reactions. Viewers were not surprised by aging. They were unsettled by how suddenly her familiar softness vanished. After a noticeable reduction in weight, Demi Moore's face took on a firmer, more angular structure. Cheeks that once added balance and warmth appeared flatter. The mid-face lost volume, and the skin, though still smooth, seemed less supported beneath the surface. Instead of reading as youthful, the result felt rigid, almost mask-like, reinforcing the idea that thinness can intensify age rather than erase it. What complicates Demi Moore's case is perception. She has long been associated with discipline, control, and perfection. When that control extends into extreme leanness later in life, the margin for error narrows. As collagen naturally declines, facial fat becomes structural. Remove it too quickly and even the most recognizable face can appear strained. Public reaction shifted between concern and disbelief. Many felt they were seeing someone unfamiliar, not because she changed, but because the change disrupted decades of visual continuity. Demi Moore did not simply lose weight. She lost the softness that once anchored her on-screen identity. Her story highlights a crucial truth. After 50, the face often needs preservation more than subtraction. Chasing a smaller frame can unintentionally amplify age. Demi Moore's transformation stands as a reminder that elegance often lives in restraint, not reduction. Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman has spent decades shaping an image built on elegance, control, and an almost ethereal precision. Her frame was always slender, but in recent years it became noticeably smaller enough to subtly shift the balance of her face. Unlike sudden transformations, Nicole's change unfolded quietly, which made it more unsettling the longer audiences observed it. As her body grew leaner, The natural volume that once softened her features gradually diminished. Her cheeks appeared flatter, her temples more hollow, and the skin, though meticulously maintained, seemed stretched over sharper bone structure. The result was not frailty, but a sense of visual tension. She appeared composed and controlled, yet distanced from the warmth that once defined her presence on screen. What sets Nicole Kidman's case apart is duration. Sustaining extreme thinness over many years compounds facial aging. Even without dramatic drops, long-term calorie restriction and weight suppression can slowly erode the fat that supports the face.